So this is our graphic user interface of Microsoft Word. So you'll be having on top there, these are called tabs: home, insert, page layout, etc., etc. So for this video, we are going to touch on the basics only. So we are only going to look at home, insert, and page layout. These are the most important tabs that you'll be using. Okay, so let's start with home. So for you to understand, let me just go and copy and paste the paragraph so that we'll work on that one. Okay, let me just copy this one. Okay, so I'll just paste it like this. Okay, so I'll start from the left side going to the right side. So yeah, let's start with this B. So this B, let me, if I select everything like this, we have got B. This is B for bold, for making all the letters bold. For example, if I just click on bold, so can you see now that all the letters are bold? Okay, and then if I click it again, it will go to, you have to select first, and then you click, and then, so this is how you use, or this is the application of this B for bold. This B is for bold, and then the next one is for italics. So if I select everything and I click on italics, it will change. So can you see the difference that now all these letters are in italics, and then if I select again and then I click like this, here you'll be back to the original fonts. Okay, so we are done with the first three, and then now we go to this ABC that is crossed. So this is called strike through. If I just select this part only and then I click on strike through, so this is how it will look like. So it all depends with what you'll be working on. There are some times where you need a strike through, or depending with what you're working on. Remember, Microsoft Word is used in the commercial world. There are different fields that will be needing this application. So it all depends with what you'll be doing. So you might also need to use this. Okay, so let me just select again to remove it. The strike through. So this two X2, this with a subscript here, and this one is for example. Okay, let me just show you. So if I click here, you click here first, and then if you type anything, it will come here at the bottom. Maybe you want to put references. You are writing a report, and then you want to put references. You just put it as a subscript, or maybe you want to put on top. So if it's on top there, you come here, and then you click here, and then you just write. It will also be on top there. Okay, so those are our two subscript and superscripts. Okay. All right, moving on. Now let's go to the type of font. So if I select everything like this, and then I come here and click here, these are the different types of fonts that we have. Okay, so I will just go down using my cursor so that you see the different types of fonts that we have. So this is Arial Black, and then there's also Arabic. There are lots and lots of these different types of fonts. So can you see that as I'm scrolling downwards, the font will also be changing. So you do this when you're looking for the right font that you want to use. So it all depends with what you'll be working on, or maybe just your preferences as well. Okay, and then sometimes there are some documents that needs a certain type of font. Maybe you want to impress someone who is from another country, so it will be more appropriate for you to use the font that is maybe common to that country, just to show respect. So it all depends with what you've been working on. Okay, so this is on font. So let's just go back to the one that was there before. Okay, so and then you can also increase the size of the letters or the fonts. Where initially we were just talking about the font type. Now we're talking about the font size. So for the size, you come here where it says 11. Then you just go down, just click here, and then this drop down list will give you the different font size that you have. So can you see that as I'm moving downwards, my font is increasing. So you can hear it. You can have a very big font. It all depends with your preferences. Usually you use 14 or 12 depending with your fields. So but these are the most common ones, 14 and 12. And then sometimes for headings you might choose 16 or 18. It all depends with what you've been working on. Maybe if you're making a poster so that people will be able to see, you have to use a bigger font. So you just choose depending with your application. Okay, so let's move on. And then also you can also change your font color. So if you want to change your font color, okay, you come here where it says font color here. So if I click here, all these colors will come down. So I can just select, let's say, this color. So can you say that the color of my of the whole paragraph is changed? So this is how to change the font color. So I can just select again and then go back to black. So it depends with what you'll be working on. If you're making a poster, obviously you have to put some colors there to sort of like beautify your work. All right, and then sometimes after writing a whole report, sometimes you might realize that you have used the wrong case. Maybe you're supposed to use an uppercase, but you've used lowercase. So you cannot redo everything. What you can do is you can just select like this. Then you go to here, and then you say when you want uppercase, you just click on uppercase. Everything will be converted into uppercase. And then if you want to go back to lowercase, you can just click here to lowercase like that. Okay, and then there are other options as well. If you click here, can you see that says capitalize each word? So you can also say Okay, let me start by selecting everything that you'll be doing. You have to select your field where you want to do that operation. So I can come here and then I say capitalize each word. So can you see that each and every word has been capitalized? The first letter of each word has been capitalized. So there are a lot of options that you can choose from. Okay, and then now let's move to numbering. So we've got the different types of numbering. Numbering basically means that you'll be putting a number on top in front of your statement. So sometimes there are times whereby you'll be writing notes, or maybe you want to put some things in point form. So there will be need for you to do numbering. So we've got bullets, we've got numbers, we've got letters. Okay, so let's start with bullets. So if you come here, these are the different types of bullets that we have. So you can just choose a bullet, and then can you see that it is appearing here? So I can increase my font here to make it a little bit bigger so that you see. Okay, so can you see that it's a bit bigger? Then if I go to this statement here, you can choose a different bullet. So let me increase the font first. So let me go to 16, and then I will say here I'll choose a different bullet. Let me use this one. So can you see now we've got different types. So it all depends with your preference, what you'll be working on and what you prefer. Okay, and then numbering, I'll just do this at once. So numbering, you come here, and then you click, and then you choose. So you've got 1, 2, 3. This one you can use Roman numerals. You can use uppercase letters. So I can use this one. And then on the second one, I'll just come and click here as well. Okay, I want to, let me start from on the top there. So like this, and then I'll come here again. I'll choose that number again. So okay, and then for the second one, I can also come here and do like this. So can you see this is number 1, this is number 2. There's a difference here in the font, because here my font on this paragraph is a bit is smaller. So the numbering will also take the font of the sentence or the paragraph that it will be numbering on. Okay, so these are the types of numberings that we have. Let me just undo what I was doing. So when you want to undo, let's say you have done something that you don't want to keep, you can just go here where it says undo, and then you click. So it will move to the previous version of your document. Or if you want to undo again, you can also come here to put the things that you have removed. Okay. So this application, Microsoft Word, has got a lot of applications that you can take advantage of. Okay, so now let's go to paragraphing, the style of paragraphing. So can you see that on this one now, I'm using this one whereby all the sentences are starting from the right, but there are some instances whereby you maybe want to start from the left, or you want the symmetry to be skewed left, or maybe you want all the sentences to be at the center, to be symmetrical. So you can also do that as well. First, you have to select like this, and then you just come here for the center one, you click here for the center. So can you see that there's a different, maybe you want to write, let's say a poem. A poem will look nicer writing it like this. All right, and then you can also choose this one. So can you see that it is aligned on the right side? You can also do a full alignment like this. So it all depends with your preference. Okay, and then let's go back to where we were so that we can continue. And then, like I said before, that we're only covering the basics, so I'm going to skip obviously some other things that are not really necessary. There are things that you can use, but it's not really necessary. So here I just want you to have a certain knowledge of Microsoft Word so that you can also add that you know how to use Microsoft Word on your CV, and also it will help you in your day-to-day life. All right, okay, so let me just select this and go back to this, and then now let's look at this spacing. So here, this is normal spacing. This is where we are. You can also choose not to space anything. If I click here, so can you see that the spacing between the sentences is changed? So that is another one. And then there is also another way of making this a headline. So I'll just come here and saying heading 1. So can you see that it is appearing differently? It's a different, and then I can also choose to be heading 2. So heading 2 will be a bit smaller. Heading 3 as well will be smaller than 2, and then heading 4 will obviously be smaller, etc., etc. Okay, so there are a lot of, you can just click here to see all the possible things that you can do on your spacing and also on your headings. Okay, so this was everything. This was the basics that we had on home. Now let's go to insert. The next step that we have here is insert. So you just come here and then you click here, and then the ribbon for inserting will come up. Okay, so let's start by inserting a table. So when you want to insert a table, you just come here and then you click here. So you can either do it like this. Let's say you want to create a table which is which will be having 2 rows and 2 columns. You can just come here and choose here 2 by 2. You'll be looking at those numbers here on top where it says 2 by 2 here. So you can just choose, and then also you'll be looking at or on your document to see if the table is of the right size. And then another way, you can also say insert table like this, and then you manually put, say, number of rows that you want and also number of columns that you want. And after that, you say enter, and then the table will appear. Okay, so let's just say enter here. Okay, so can you see here that you've got 2 rows and 5 columns. So this is how you insert a table. Okay, let's go back to our insert and then let me just undo so that our table will go away. Okay, so we've got a lot of options there. We can insert a picture. So you can click there, then there'll be options that will come for you to insert a picture. Okay, so it means for the picture now, you'll be taking a picture from your gallery. So you just choose the picture that you want to. Let me just choose this one, and then it will come. So can you see that I've inserted a picture from my computer? So this is how to, maybe you want to add a picture onto your document. You just go there and then say insert a picture, and then the picture will come onto the document. Okay, let me just undo this. Okay, now let's move on. So we're on insets, and then you can also use clip art. You can also insert different shapes. Maybe you want to put a rectangle, or maybe you want graphs or charts. You can do all those under the insert tab. So this is the ribbon. Maybe you want to put a header and a footer. So a header is basically, okay, if you, there are two ways when you want to put a header. You can just double click here on top. So can you see that this is a header, and if you put a header, it will appear on top of each and every page that you have, even if you would have 100 pages. There'll also be 100 headers on top with footers as well. If you go down there on the bottom of the page, here this is the footer. So if I type anything here, this will appear on all the pages that I'll be having on my document. So even if you're writing a novel, if you just write on top, maybe you want to write the author's name on top, you just put it either on the footer or add them as a header, and then it will appear on all the pages. Okay, so let's move on. So this is on footers and headers. Okay, we're on inserts. So you can also come here, then you just click header there, and then it will come up, or footer there, can come up. And then also now page numbering. Now you can just come here, you click here, and then you look for the style. You say, do you want to put your page number on the top of the page? And then here there are different positions that you can choose from. And then when you want to put your page numbering at the bottom, you come here. There are also different positions that you can choose from. And you can also have page margins, you can also have current position, etc., etc. There are a lot of different things, a lot of different options that you can choose from. So it all depends with the specifications and obviously with the preferences. Okay, and then you can also put some add arts. Maybe you're writing a report whereby you need to put some makeup onto your document. So you might need to do some word art. So you can just click here, and then you see all those different types of font that will come up. You can just choose. Let me just choose this one, and then it will come here. And then you can just drag it to the position where you want it, and then you can just write to say maybe my documents, like this. And then this will help you to sort of like put some style onto your document, so that your document will just not be plain. Okay, depending obviously with what you'll be working on. Okay, all right. And then the next one that we're going to look at, we've done with at this is we want to write equation and symbols. I'll make another video to cover all the details, but with this one, like I said before, that I'm just covering the basics for you to just be able to use Microsoft Word. But if you want if you want a more detailed one, just stick to this channel. I'll make another video probably by the end of the week. It will be on this channel. So if you haven't subscribed, just make sure that you subscribe so that you'll be able to see that video the moment that I upload it. Okay, so let's move on to page layouts. Okay, so page layouts. So we've got margins, we've got orientation, we've got the size, we've got the watermark, page color, etc., etc. Okay, so most of these things now, you don't use them every day, but I'll just show you maybe one or two things for you to use maybe. Okay, so at first let me just remove my documents. Let me just remove this first. Okay, so let's use table watermark. So watermark, this is a written text that will be at the bottom. Let's say your name is Mark, and then you want to put maybe that's the name of your company. Okay, so you can just come in, then you say watermark, then you choose the position. Maybe you want it to be diagonal, or to be at the center horizontally, or like this, or like that. Okay, so let me just choose this one. Okay, so your watermark will be here. So this is your watermark. It will appear like that. So you can also edit. You can also edit. If you come here where it says watermark here where it says custom watermark, or remove watermark. So I can just remove this one, the one that I just put, and then I'll come here again and I'll say custom watermark to put the one that I said. Maybe if your company name is Mark, so you say a watermark, text watermark here, and then you write, let's say your text you want to write Mark, Mark PVT Ltd, like that. And then you can choose the fonts, the font type, the size, etc., etc., and then diagonal or horizontal, and then semi-transparent. Okay, and then you say okay. So can you see now that I've got my Mark Private Limited? So it means every document from your company will be having your company name, like that. Okay, and then you also have page borders, so you can just choose here to which border that should be. The borders basically that line that should be going around your pages. So it all depends. Maybe you want to, they're making maybe invitations, so they have to be some kind of styles at the edges of your pages. So you can just choose a page border. Maybe I'll choose this one, a box, and then I'll choose maybe this one, and then I'll say okay. So can you see that I've got a page border now? This line, this broken line that is going around. Okay, so you can also play around with change. You can change the color, you can change the style, etc., etc. Okay, and then the other thing that I should also mention is the margins. So can you see that we've got a different margin that we can we have? Okay, if you look here, okay, let me just do undo first. Undo first. So this space here from the top of the page to the first line can be changed as well, can be altered, or even the distance from the left to the first letter. This distance can be changed, so it can come here, and then I'll say margin, I'll say narrow like that. So can you see that my total is nearer, is now near the left edge because I've changed the margins like this, and then I can also make it a bit wider like this. So it all depends with what you be trying to achieve.